On this episode, our guest is Clayton Mask, CEO of Infusionsoft, a unique suite of tools that merges marketing strategy, CRM software, and the power of automation in one simple package. Designed for small businesses, it's the perfect marriage of convenience and customization for client communications that can save your business valuable time and money.
Welcome back to the Leverage member webinar series. Today we have a very special guest, a client and a friend and a fellow Genius Network member. Clayton Mask is here, CEO of Infusionsoft. So, hi, Clayton.
Hey, Nick. Great to be here with you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to really get right into it, but I'm particularly excited for this one because, right before we started this recording, we were discussing kind of core values of a company and kind of what our value proposition is. And you guys are like probably one of the closest companies in terms of the target audience and kind of value proposition. Like, we're both in the same business of helping small businesses to scale, and small businesses operate like a medium or a large business. So I think our members are going to get a lot of value out of this call.
Yeah. I was just going to say, I totally agree. I think there's a very interesting complementary nature to what we do. And I think we kind of come from the same place in trying to empower entrepreneurs. So I'm excited about it too. Glad we get a chance to talk.
Yeah. And we've also been going through the certification, your Infusionsoft partner certification. Yeah. So I haven't gone through all of it yet, but for all of those of you listening to this, it's really, I was really impressed with it. Not even for the specific about Infusionsoft. I thought that the content alone was worth more than what the price tag of the program was. It gave me so many just general ideas that we should be doing that seem obvious, but like even yesterday, like one of the things was talking about open rate of an email that contains a video. And it's just like so obvious and so much more personalized. So yesterday I started recording some of these. So like when we have new clients get onboarded, there'll be a video in there.
Great.
Or even the recommendations about like pricing and how you should be thinking about, people are either concerned about time or money, and having like 3 different buckets in the statistics around having like a intro, medium, and light and premium version.
Yeah.
So I just thought, just pure content wise, it was really an amazing product. And just wanted to share that.
Well, cool. I'm glad you shared that. We created our partner program, our new partner program at the beginning of last year, and we've had a partner program for a long time. But really, it was at the beginning of 2017 we launched the new partner strategy, the new partner program, and we put a lot of work into creating a great program, and we've had a lot of strong feedback, like you've shared. And kind of to understand what's going on there, what happened for us was up until the end of 2016, we were on what we call our Everest mission. And that mission was about leading the market and creating the powerful sales and marketing automation software for small businesses. But it was very much a direct to customer model. And while we had partners, they were sort of a part of what we did, but it wasn't like the center of our strategy. At the end of 2016, we shifted our strategy as we set out on our new Mars mission, as we call it, which takes us through the year 2030. And one of the key aspects of our strategy is to serve millions of small businesses through partners. And so what that meant was we had to put a totally different type of a level of investment, team, capabilities, systems, infrastructure in place to attract partners, empower them, get them in a place where they could go and serve small businesses very effectively. And we kicked off the strategy and the program at the beginning of last year, and it's been paying huge dividends, both in terms of customer success rates as well as new customer acquisition. And so you're seeing a little piece of that as you go through the partner certification process. And as you well know, it's not just a fog the mirror thing. Like you really have to go through it in order to get certified as a Infusionsoft certified partner. But we've done that so that we can partner with different individuals and groups who want to help small businesses succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to get to the next part of that training where we really dive deeper into the actual product, and because our bread and butter is automation. So I'm really excited to see what kind of automation and templates and cool things that we can integrate with Infusionsoft to deliver to our clients.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even going through that training, I started getting really sidetracked with my ADD, and I'm clicking on all the links that you guys have. So then I'm finding myself like deep into, like, you guys are linking to Wistia blogs as well as Infusionsoft blogs, and just the content alone. I can't stress enough. I really, really thought it was good.
Cool. That's awesome. Well, I'm super glad you guys are going through the partnership track with us, because when you and I met a couple months ago and talked here in my office, it was so obvious that you guys could do some amazing things with Infusionsoft for your clients. And I know you have clients that use it, and I know you come across clients, but I think because of your orientation and the way you see automation and what it can do, I think the more you guys get into the power of Infusionsoft, the more you'll be blown away by what's possible in creating efficiency and leverage for your customers.
So do you mind to kick this off, and like, just for those people is like, I think you would be the best to. Hello?
Hey, I lost you for just a second there. Say that again.
Sorry. I was saying, why don't we kick this off, and if you wouldn't mind just explaining what Infusionsoft is for those that maybe haven't heard of it yet.
Yeah. So Infusionsoft is customer relationship management software, or CRM software, as people frequently call it. And it's really all about helping, and it's totally built for small businesses. It's all about helping small businesses organize all of the stuff that's going on in their business, and then be able to deliver better service to their customers, whether that's a prospect, a lead, an existing customer. But the whole point is to bring together the customer database, the sales aspect of what you do, the marketing aspect of what you do, and the service aspect of what you do into one system, so that you can grow your business more effectively by delivering great service, converting leads more effectively, and growing your business without having to put a ton of manual work behind it. Automation is what underlies our system. It's the real thing that makes Infusionsoft. And when our customers use the power of our automation to manage their customer relationships, they get a ton of leverage.
No pun intended. But at the core, your product is a CRM platform.
Yes.
Right? All the marketing automation is a layer on top of what the core business is.
Yeah. And if you want to think of it in terms of kind of functionality, there's CRM at the heart, marketing automation, sales automation to manage a pipeline, and e-commerce capabilities as well, so that you can process transactions and do your storefront, your landing pages, that kind of thing.
Gotcha. So I would love to hear from your opinion. Like, how does it differ from like an Intercom versus an Agile CRM versus a Salesforce, and like, what should people be thinking about when they're looking at each of these tools? Yeah.
So I think the biggest difference in what we do is that we bring marketing automation to the table. So that's integrated. It's in one system. You're not having to go connect with some type of other marketing tool. But we really believe that in small business, CRM and marketing have to be completely combined. So first big difference is we bring marketing automation into the suite, if you want to think of it that way. It's part of the product. Second big difference is automation across the board. So a lot of times CRM software, it will help you get organized, it'll help present to you information, but for small businesses, you need that software to do work for you. You need it to send out communications, you need it to be automating processes and executing those processes for you. And so the automation of your workflow, your customer communications, internal communications, you can automate processes with our software that are really just, it's head and shoulders above anything else that's out there. And then the third thing I would say is, because we're built entirely for small businesses that want to grow, you don't have to deal with a bunch of the junk that sometimes comes with with CRM systems that are built for any and every company. You know, when people say, "Oh, we serve businesses of all size," I just kind of have to roll my eyes, because the game is different for small business than it is for enterprise or even mid-market. And so I'd say those are the three big differentiators: the marketing, the automation capabilities, and then of course the fact that it's built for small business. And so not only do you have add-ons and a whole ecosystem and partners and a community that's focused on small business, but the software itself is intended for people who are running small and growing businesses.
So specifically, what is different in the needs of a small business in regards to like marketing automation and CRM capability versus, and also what do you define as a small business versus medium and large? And then what do, at each of those stages, like what are the different needs that need to be addressed with a CRM software?
Yeah, great question. So generally, we talk about small businesses being under 100 employees. Our real sweet spot is kind of the 2 to 25 employees. That's where most of our customers are. We also have a lot of solopreneurs, and we just recently created an edition of the software that's for solopreneurs, so that we can. So I expect we'll get more and more solopreneurs. But generally, that's who we're talking about. So we're not talking about the Small Business Administration's definition of 500 employees or less. 95% of our customers are 25 employees and lower, and that's great. That's how we want it. That's who we serve. So what happens is, what you need when you are, let's say you're a 5-person company, which is very typical for our customers. You need the ability to manage the lead all the way from the time you get it to the time that lead becomes a customer, onto the lifetime interactions with those customers, and you need it all in one place. You don't have a different team that's doing sales and a different team that's doing marketing and a different team that's doing customer service. You tend not to have the needs for all sorts of roll-up reporting, because you're managing 50 different employees that are using the software, or 100 different employees are using the software. You generally, if you're a business that's got 10 employees, you might have three or four people that are using the software, and they're using it all across the customer interaction. They need to be able to process the order and take the credit, take the credit card, charge the customer. They need to be able to have a tracking of that. They don't, they need to be able to put this stuff in place without a full IT team that's going to go implement it for them. So it's really about the way that it's been created to help you manage the customer relationship from the time they come into your funnel until, the time they leave, hopefully years and years down the road, and all the different interactions you have with them.
That's awesome. So at what point would Salesforce make more sense? Just if you're a larger company, like more than 100, then you should start thinking about Salesforce. And how hard is it to switch? Like if someone chooses one CRM, like say they choose Infusionsoft, but then they outgrow it, is it quite easy to move over from one to another, or is it very labor intensive?
I hate to say it, it's quite a pain.
Yeah.
And it costs a lot of money to do it, and I would tell people generally when they graduate from Infusionsoft, a lot of times they'll go to either Salesforce or HubSpot. And I think HubSpot's done a good job recently in kind of taking that mid-market space that's sort of in between Infusionsoft and Salesforce. But some folks go to Salesforce. Salesforce is very expensive. HubSpot is pretty expensive, certainly more expensive relative to Infusionsoft. And so, when you get to that 100 employee mark or greater, you might begin looking at a HubSpot or a Salesforce. And I would say that it's painful to switch because you've got to get all your data out. You got to, especially if you have a lot of things that are automated, you got a lot of processes. And I can tell you that those things aren't going to automate your processes the same way that Infusionsoft does. And so it's hard for that reason, because what you really find is you've got to actually use a few different systems to get the kinds of automation that you had in place when before you graduated from Infusionsoft. It's that workflow automation across the business that many times is difficult to replicate with some of those other systems, and so you end up stitching together other things, and it just costs a ton of money. I mean, I've had customers who have come to me and said, why don't you create something that's more for the 100 to 500 person company? And please do that. And I just say, that's not who we're focused on. We're focused on small business. We're not going to be doing that. And I point them to HubSpot or Salesforce. But, when they go, it's a lot of money. It's usually those are implementations that are hundreds of thousands of dollars or even into the millions. And that's very different than an implementation of Infusionsoft, obviously.
And, we're a small business, and I think most of our clients are small businesses. And so I think it's more relevant anyways to talk about what you guys are up to.
Yeah.
So let's ask this question then. Why do some people call it Confusionsoft? Where does that come from? And what's on your roadmap? How are you guys addressing that?
Yeah, totally. I'm glad you asked. I love talking about this. For a long time, by the way, we just didn't. We were just like, whatever. But here's what you have to understand. So our original mission, our Everest mission, which was from 10 years, to beginning of 2007 to the end of 2016, the mission was to create and dominate the market of all-in-one sales and marketing software for small businesses. What we did is that was all about creating a power tool for small businesses. And we did, but beginning of 2007, it didn't, like CRM in this powerful automation way, it didn't exist. And so we created that market. We've led that market. As we got to the end of 2016 and we launched on the new Mars mission at the beginning of 2017, the mission changed, and it went from that powerful sales and marketing, powerful all-in-one sales and marketing automation software to the mission is simplify growth for millions of small businesses worldwide. And it's still about CRM software, but it's about delivering that power in a more simplified way. We don't want to sacrifice the power. We want people to still access that power if they want it. But most small businesses are not reaching for power first and foremost. Now, interestingly, your audience that wants leverage, they're a little more power-oriented than the average small business because they know, hey, if I can put this automation in place, it saves me a ton of time. But most small businesses aren't that way. And so what happens is the reality is that we were very focused on creating that power tool. So now put yourself in the situation of looking at two tools. If you've been asked to cut down a tree, and you're given a handsaw, you totally get that. It's intuitive. You understand it. You understand exactly what you need to do. Not very powerful, but it'll get the job done with a lot of effort, a lot of sweat. But if I give you a chainsaw, you're going to be like, wow, that's really powerful, but I don't know how to use it. I don't understand quite what I need to be doing here. And it can be confusing. Wait, I got to put gas in this thing? Well, I don't get this. I don't understand this. And so Infusionsoft is a chainsaw, and it can be very confusing to people who thought they were going to get a handsaw. But when they realize the power, they're like, okay, I got it. And so some people get through the learning curve and they're like, whoa, the power of this is freaking amazing. Give me the chainsaw all day long. Other people, they take the chainsaw and they start sawing like it's a handsaw. and they're like, wait, I don't get this. This doesn't make any sense. And so on the one hand, Nick, the reason why Confusionsoft is out there is because we've created a power tool that some people don't understand. On the other hand, we could have made it more simple if that was our focus, but in the Everest mission, that wasn't our focus. Now, in the past couple of years, some competitors have, taken to that, let's beat the drum of Confusionsoft, and it's been perfectly fine with us because beginning January 1 of 2017, our mission shifted to simple. And so we've been doing a bunch of things over the past year to drive that. And customers are beginning to see that. So we put our simple landing pages out. We put simple reporting out. We now have a free trial that's out there that people can see. You can go to infusionsoft.com/free trial. We simplified the onboarding experience. We made it way easier to get campaigns that are preloaded and ready to go, that are built for your vertical that you're in. We've simplified the user interface dramatically, although most customers haven't seen that yet. That'll start to roll out here in the next couple months. But suffice it to say, Confusionsoft exists, A, because our mission was to create power, B, because we had competitors that really beat the drum on it, and C, because it wasn't until last year that we began to say, okay, let's move into this new mission where it's about simplifying growth for small businesses. So that's kind of the background. I know that's a long answer. And people will see more and more what we're doing to bring them both simplicity and power.
Well, and I only ask it because I know like it's a term that people have turned around, but I mean, you're solving a complicated problem.
Yeah.
Automate, like being a CRM and combining marketing automation with sales automation is not like a simple thing that you can just have on like one page and just click like 3 buttons and you get it, right?
Right.
The more complicated of a problem, like the solution has to, it's got to be correlated. The solution complexity has to be correlated to some degree with the problem complexity. And it's not like Salesforce is the most simple tool to use either, right?
Right. Well, there's definitely that, and I tend to want to take responsibility and own it and say, look, that's what we created, and we created the power because it's a complex problem. And at the same time, we're super excited about what we're doing to bring simplicity to our users and still give them that power.
That's great. I mean, I have a ton more questions, but we've had a few questions pop up, so let's address a couple.
Okay, great.
Okay, so one from Arnaud just asked, it sounds like Infusionsoft works a bit like Zoho, one only much more expensive. Why should I choose one or the other?
Yeah, it's about automation and about marketing. Those are the two biggest things. So, you can get a CRM solution like Zoho, but you're really, it's not automating your workflows for you. It's not automating your communications to your customers. It's not bringing to you the power to drop a customer into a campaign and have that customer get a personalized experience that feels like each person along the way is providing that personal touch to your customer. So, simply put, it's automation, it's marketing. If you think about the money you're spending for your email marketing and for your landing pages, and maybe you're not doing that, but that's why our customers use Infusionsoft, because it's a suite that brings together not only CRM but also the automation, the marketing, the e-commerce, and so forth.
And you might be able to achieve something similar to Zoho, but you might have to use their API and Zapier and invest a lot in some custom integrations with it that's not out of the box, and end up spending more money and time to achieve something similar, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's true. And I would say even with custom programming and some other things, you'll have a hard time replicating the kind of automation that you can achieve with Infusionsoft.
Yeah. We had another question from Ash. How can the partners help you grow internationally? He's a partner already in Germany.
So we got partners all over the world. We've got some really awesome. International partners. Our program is available to partners wherever they are. I would say that you're going to have to be a little more entrepreneurial if you're in Germany than if you are, in California. But that's, it's been beautiful for us to watch the partner network grow. We've got a massive partner network now, and it's really entrepreneurial folks that are seeing the power of what's possible with Infusionsoft and then packaging up their services and delivering them to customers through Infusionsoft. So I would say what we've done to empower you is we've created an edition of the software that's just for partners, that gives you the ability to manage your clients in one application instead of having to go into all their different applications of Infusionsoft. You can see what campaigns are working, what's not working. You can see what the health of all of your customers is, so you can see how they're using Infusionsoft and what kind of automation they're putting in place. And all of that is in one application where basically it makes your client management dramatically simpler. So we've empowered you, whether you're in Germany or California, by creating a partner edition of the software and then creating a partner training program that Nick, you were referencing at the beginning of this webinar. And we love seeing the world come on board and then help small businesses succeed in their local areas or in their vertical or their area of expertise of that partner.
And Ash's follow-up question is, any plans to have servers in Europe comply with the data privacy levels?
Yep, that's part of what we're working on. We've got to be compliant that way. So we're looking at the different ways we can achieve that. A lot of SaaS companies are facing the same thing right now and figuring out how to solve that problem. So we have a lot of customers in Europe. We got a lot of partners in Europe. It's not something that we can disregard. We've got to, we're working on a plan for that.
Awesome. Arnaud, since has posted a follow-up question. Are you familiar with Zoho Flow? He's saying he's saying now that's the glue between all the modules. It's new, but it's a full mix of Zapier, CRM, and all that stuff. So is Zoho Flow now kind of doing some similar stuff to what Infusionsoft offers?
Yeah, some things. It gives you a little bit more of the capability to tie things together, making it a little easier from an integration standpoint. But again, you're having to pull together marketing automation and commerce. There's different aspects that don't come native to Zoho that you've got to tie together, and so you end up spending money on all those other things and then trying to tie it all together. It's a little different solution than Infusionsoft, which is integrated sales and marketing. It's not like going and building integrations. It's all native to Infusionsoft.
And Infusionsoft has an open API, right? So if we need to do custom stuff beyond all the automation out of the
yes.
For instance, like we've had some CRM tasks where people want us to build like a Slack bot and connect to their CRM so that they can do like slash something and pull, all the sales information of a particular client without having to leave Slack. So that's probably something extremely specific for someone, but we could build that using your API and build a Slack bot connecting to Infusionsoft, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely.
And do you guys have a Slack bot already or a Slack application?
I believe we've got a partner that's created that. So one of the cool things about our partner community is we've got developer partners that have created all sorts of stuff. So you can go into the marketplace and you can find different things like that. So we haven't done it internally, but I'm pretty sure that we've got a partner that's done that.
Very cool. That should be on. Okay, that's something now for us to think about since we kind of do that already internally. We should think about this marketplace stuff.
Yeah.
And then another question. I'll answer this one more, but he was asking. We use Intercom right now, and so the question was, are you planning on moving away and using like an Infusionsoft? So Intercom is not really a CRM. It has some aspects of a CRM, but the live chat is great. Does Infusionsoft offer those like live chat bubbles that you can integrate on a website?
We don't out of the box, but I know we've got customers that do that. So I'm not sure if it's using Intercom or using something else.
Yeah, there's Front, there's Intercom. I mean, we're going to keep Intercom for the chat. And also the knowledge base is cool. It's called Intercom Educate. So you can create like FAQs. That's useful. And they do have some marketing automation. But this from a CRM standpoint, like we're using it as our CRM right now. Like that was just the quickest, easiest way. But we're already outgrown it. And, that's part of the reason why we're going through this partnership training course, kind of kill two birds with one stone, where we can get set up ourselves with a CRM, but then also the experts at how to use this platform so we can offer it to clients. So some things that like just off the top of my head that we can't do very easily with Intercom, which is the reason to move off of it, is, we have hundreds or thousands of clients that canceled using the service without even using us. So these are extremely warm leads. They've shown interest to use Leverage. We have their credit card, and they, for whatever reason, it could have been a year ago, and we just had a different onboarding process and client success process. For whatever reason, they've canceled, and it's pretty obvious that we should be contacting these people to re-engage them. So there's no easy way. So we can see in Intercom a list of these people, but if we want to put a sales team on this and be able to track who's called who when, or if someone said, call me back in 2 weeks, or we don't want to just be stalking these people and we want to spread out if they don't answer when to call them next, or if we want to segment who should be in charge of which people. Those aren't things that are very easy to do with Intercom. Mm-hmm. You kind of have to use a Google Calendar separately and start creating these really complex workflows to achieve that. So you can do really basic things, but anything beyond like level one, we're really starting to struggle with. And then also, since it's not at its core a CRM, things like a whole history of communication with the person. They have a notes field, but there's no native integration with like a phone calling or texting service, or there's no just timeline of a history of everything that's happened with that client. So you have this fragmented knowledge and information about a client, which doesn't give you the full picture.
Yeah, let me say something about that, because I think maybe when we talk about CRM, you've said several times it's not a true CRM. You've said things like that. I think that probably what happens for small businesses is that they many times don't have an experience of what CRM software really can do for you, because when you start your business, you start using all these different tools. It's totally natural. And most of these tools are for a specific purpose, but they're really not grounded in your relationship with the customer. It's not like a true CRM, the way that you're describing it, Nick. The foundation of it is you have the customer's record, and then you have everything associated with that customer in one place. Their buying history, your communication history, the emails you've had with them, the notes, the links they've clicked on, the campaigns they've received. All of that stuff is in one place. And what happens in small business many times is your communications are in MailChimp or your email marketing program. You've got some stuff in Gmail. You've got some things in your QuickBooks. You've got customer information in all these different places, and it makes it very difficult to really build relationship with that customer and deliver personalized service, because your information is spread out in a bunch of different places. And so the first thing CRM does is it helps you get it organized in one place. But if you stop there, you don't really have what small businesses need. What they need is, okay, I got it organized, and I know what to do to build relationship with each customer, and I can do it in a one-to-many way instead of a one-to-one way. So think of like the first time you sent a broadcast email, how nice that was that you could do something that was one-to-many. But now imagine being able to send very personalized things to many people that's based on the information that's in each individual's customer record. So you can now kind of scale your communications and your relationship building with customers, which is what causes small businesses to kind of tap out when they're smaller. They can only have so many relationships where they deliver good personalized service. And so without a good CRM system that has strong automation and strong personalization capabilities, you end up sort of either delivering good personalized service to a very small number of customers that you can kind of manage, or you end up really sacrificing that personalized touch and you're communicating to people as though they're all the same person. And that hurts the relationship building. And so I just wanted to kind of fill in a little bit there, because you're describing what Intercom's limitations are, but others probably have a similar limitation in their marketing, their email marketing software or their marketing automation, or they might have a similar limitation in their scheduling software, or they might have a similar limitation in some industry-specific piece of software they're using to manage their business if they're dentists or something like that. So I think it's really illustrative what you just shared regarding your experience with Intercom, but what we see at Infusionsoft is what you just described. It plays out across small businesses in all kinds of different ways with all kinds of different tools.
Yeah, I can't tell you the number of times. I mean, it sounds simple, but it's a client saying, "Oh, I already spoke to someone," and yeah. I think like in a nutshell, like having a good setup with something like Infusionsoft helps to not get into that situation where someone has to say, "Oh, I already spoke to someone," because it's all organized in one place. So that's one, I like Intercom a lot. It helped us get to where we're at right now. But, Eric has just asked, I appreciate your openness in discussing your current state. Helps me and others know every company can struggle. It's not a struggle. I think that every tool can serve its purpose, and depending on where you're at in your company, you need different things are a priority at different times, right? So when we started, it was more of a priority to figure out how can we deliver on tasks than it was to re-engage, the hundreds or thousands of clients that have canceled without using the service, right? Like sales wasn't our priority. So, we just got something up and running that would solve 80% of what we needed quickly so we could put more energy, time, and money into, things that were more important for us at that stage. But, the stage of our company is shifting. So, as that shifts, so does the stack of technologies that we need to use. And, as you said from at the beginning, your sweet spot is our company's less than 100. So, at some point, we'll graduate from Infusionsoft and have to move to a Salesforce. It's not necessarily a struggle. It's just the typical, evolution of having a business, I think.
Yeah. Well said.
All right. There's a couple other questions that have popped up here. Let's get to that. All right. Ash says internal process automation for a company is where Infusionsoft shines. Just a comment.
Yeah, very, very true. That's probably the thing that's probably one of the things that's most misunderstood as well. People think, oh, it's marketing automation, and that's all external communications to customers. And yes, Infusionsoft is marketing automation, but at the very heart, it's CRM, and it's helping you to automate your internal processes. And it's where you get incredible leverage. It's just, I love that I'm talking with you and with your members because they get it. Like this is, what our customers tell us over and over and over and over is that Infusionsoft saves me an employee or two or three. We hear this over and over because they have processes that were handled manually by people and frequently not handled well because the person is trying to do 5 different jobs and things start to slip through the cracks. But then they put they hire Infusionsoft to do that job, and Infusionsoft's going to execute that automation of the internal process, and it saves them headcount, it saves them payroll, it saves them and it just happens. They don't get distracted on some other thing that they have to do, which is very natural for people.
Yeah, I guess it's quite easy to show why it's worth using. If you just ask someone, I guess, well, what's the lifetime value of a customer? And then you say, well, if you get one extra customer in a year because of this or in a month, it pays for itself. It kind of makes it easier for people to see the value.
What our partners usually do, Nick, is they usually have kind of domain expertise in a certain area. And so they'll get Infusionsoft and they'll show the customer, they'll show their customer, our joint customer, how Infusionsoft is going to automate a certain process. And then the customer's like, oh yeah, no brainer. If it takes that off my plate and it just happens every time a new customer comes into my business, it takes them through this process and it's, this perfectly orchestrated thing, and I don't have to do anything. It just kind of move. It's like dropping them on a conveyor belt and just moving them through the process line. Yeah, that's amazing. And so what our partners do, they're really good at. I can't remember who the customer was. Ash maybe that said the internal automation. Partners are really, really good at showing how that internal automation is a game changer for our customers, and that's kind of the behind the scenes stuff that many times the public and other people don't notice, because they'll receive the emails by Infusionsoft, the marketing automation, they'll land on landing pages or process a credit card using our shopping cart, but they don't see all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes with our customers, and that's where our partners really shine.
Right. Yeah, and Ash has a follow-up saying you can create a predictable customer journey with Infusionsoft and organize your campaigns properly.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Ash.
I told you we were your target audience. We have partners on this call. All right, we have Chris. He's an Infusionsoft user. How can I get one-on-one help from a partner? Well, Chris, once we're certified, we can help you with that. But Clayton, how else would someone, if I don't want to just promote leverage here. So where would Chris go to
Yeah, you can go into the marketplace. And you can go to the marketplace and you can contact partners, and we have partners with all kinds of different areas of expertise. But you can go in and find partners there. That's a very common thing. If for any reason you're struggling, you can certainly contact support at Infusionsoft, and we can help you over phone or chat, and we can also connect you to a partner to get that one-on-one help. What I would say is that we're always available to do chat support and phone support, and we'll always provide that. Partners have a leg up on Infusionsoft in the sense that they really can get very personal, very specific, and on an ongoing basis. Whereas with Infusionsoft, you're going to contact us and you're going to get a different support rep each time, and it's hard to go really deep into the strategy of what you're doing. But that's what our partner network is for, and we've got thousands of partners out there now, and we've really worked hard to connect our partners and our customers so that they can work together to help the small business be successful.
Yeah. And Chris, this is exactly why we're going through the partnership training, because once we're up to speed with specifically Infusionsoft, we're also very well versed in just CRMs in general, but also our bread and butter is automation and doing custom development using third-party APIs, connecting things. So it's great that Infusionsoft already is such a robust platform, but that example of like a Slack integration or things like that, that's kind of where we're going to see our comparative advantage with using the platform.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys do. I know you guys will do some really cool stuff with integrations and just like, for example, the Slack integration you're talking about. Yeah. I'm sure you guys will see some things that will be really valuable to your customers, your members.
Yeah, and Chris, I don't know if you're in our private members Slack channel, but Ash is in there. So, you can also chat with Ash. He's a certified partner. And Ash is a member as well. So Chris's follow-up, your chat and phone support's amazing. I'll look into going deep with a partner. Sounds like just what I need. Thanks. No problem, Chris.
I appreciate hearing that. We pride ourselves on great support. And I think that's one of the things that many times small business CRM doesn't do well, because they haven't built the offering in a way that really honors and recognizes that customers need help all along the way. I mean, they're not tech experts. And so we get great feedback on our chat and phone support. And I appreciate hearing that.
I think that the two, like when people ask me like what goes through your head when you're picking a software, like the two most important things, like, I mean, obviously it has to have the functionality, but customer support and either a Zapier integration or an open API to do customization. Like for me, that's kind of a prerequisite to even start investing time researching a product.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so time intensive to get something set up to solve your specific needs. So you need that extra help. We recommend a tool called Process Street a lot for process documentation automation, and their support is excellent. And I built a relationship now with them and their CEO and stuff. But out of the gate, like, it would have been, I probably wouldn't have used the tool if I wouldn't have had that hand holding up front,
Yeah.
Cool. We have another question, and that's from Mike. I hate to ask such a narrow question, but can you discuss how Infusionsoft can help a small law practice or other service type of businesses like dental or medical or accounting?
Yeah. Well, first of all, over 90% of our customers are service businesses. And so and it stands to reason. You want to build a relationship and deliver great service, and you need a tool like Infusionsoft, a system like Infusionsoft, to help you scale the number of relationships that you can hold at once. And so it's very common for our customers to use Infusionsoft in a dental practice. We have a lot of dentists, a lot of lawyers. We've got partners who specialize in those verticals. But to give you kind of an example, be very common for a lawyer to do. I'll give you kind of a top of funnel example. So if you are trying to gain new clients using the seminar format where you bring in client, I don't know what kind of law you practice, but it's harder to do this if it's sort of personal injury law or sort of incident driven law. It's easier to do this if it's kind of estate planning or different kinds of planning law like that. But let's say that you are doing estate planning and you have a set. You want to bring in new clients, and so you invite a dozen people to come into your office, sit around your conference table, and you share information about some things that you should be thinking about to prepare your estate. And you're going to have, that's 12 leads that are sitting in your room. Well, before you got those 12, you might have even had a broadcast that you sent out to a larger group. But let's just assume that you handpicked these 12 people. Now you got 12 leads that are in that room. What are you going to do with them when the seminar is over? Because one or two of them are going to buy something. What about the other 10 or 11? Most of the time, lawyers sort of let them go. Nothing happens. You do a new seminar, maybe you invite those same people, but they just sort of go away. What you should do is you should put those people into a follow-up campaign that provides them follow-on information, builds relationship, cultivates the relationship with you as the expert advisor that can help them. And at some point, the time is going to be right that some of those 10 or 11 people raise their hand and say, hey, I'd like to have a phone call with you and do a consult. So what a very, very normal thing that our clients would do, and this is top of funnel, meaning getting more customers, they would have a new lead follow-up program that has a call to action, like call me for a free consult, or come in for a meeting, or let me review your existing documents. But you basically are following up and nurturing those people. And then every time you have a seminar, you're dropping people into that follow-up campaign, and it's sending them the right message at the right time in a personalized way. And all of that's happening. So now you've got this little engine that's working for you to help you generate clients. And even though some people came to a seminar in June of 2015 and other people came into a seminar in September of 2017, they're getting the follow-ups at the right time in a personalized way, because Infusionsoft sort of orchestrates that and sends the message in the right time in the right way. That's an example of what you do at the top of the funnel. Another example would be, okay, what about the people who never went to a seminar and they're a client of yours, but they've got some kind of a need to do a refresh annually on their estate plan? You would put them into a client campaign that follows up with them every 6 months or every year and reminds them of different reasons why you might want to be in touch. And so there's just different ways that you continue to build the relationship in a personalized and automated way, whether it's a brand new lead or a lifelong client that you've been working with their family for 20 years. That's an example of different ways that law firms would use Infusionsoft. I could go into probably 25 more, but I think that gives you an idea.
He says, are there industry-specific user groups for Infusionsoft?
Oh, it's a great question. There are user groups, and sometimes they sort of follow an industry-specific way, but it's really driven by the partner that's leading the user group. And so the key thing would be to get connected with a partner that's in that area that is a specialist in your vertical. And we can connect you if you want to contact our team. They can get you connected. The sales folks can connect you with a partner, or you can talk with one of our partner managers who can connect you to a partner that focuses on law. We have several that do.
That's awesome. I'm excited to start using this. Since you're a client, we can put you through some drip campaigns.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, and you think about that. Like, I use you guys for help with graphic design and PowerPoint presentations I'm building for different things. Yeah. For Ash, who might have been at PartnerCon last year, the partner presentation that I did at PartnerCon in November was built by Leverage. I'm very clear that my strength is not building slides, and so I leaned on Leverage to do that. And but you think about my case. There's absolutely no reason why you shouldn't have me in a campaign that follows up with me once or twice a month and reminds me of the kinds of things that I could be using Leverage for.
You're going to be the first one in a campaign. A couple more just feature type of questions for you, and then I want to be respectful of your time. But is phone and text message integrated directly into Infusionsoft?
So texting is right now available through partners, but we're actually building it natively. So you'll have texting capabilities. We'll do pretty basic texting capabilities natively. You can get really advanced and totally ninja with some of the partner solutions that we have through texting capabilities, and that will always be that way. We'll do kind of the basics of texting natively in Infusionsoft and let the partners do the more sophisticated stuff.
Yeah.
And right now, phone is not, so you can't. We're in the process of working on that integrated phone. So touch to dial, that sort of thing, but we're not there yet.
So those are on your product roadmap, I guess.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's right.
Yeah, because that's especially like the text messaging side of things. That was, someone saying why move from Intercom? Having to connect Twilio to Intercom and do all this custom coding to kind of use it in a way that it's not supposed to be used was quite expensive.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the pricing on Infusionsoft? Do you charge per user, or is there a monthly fee? How does that work?
Yeah, there's a configuration of the software. So which functionality do you need is kind of the first thing. Do you need e-commerce and payments capabilities, or do you need Salesforce automation with the pipeline management, or do you just need kind of the basics of CRM and marketing automation? By the way, those two things are inextricably connected. The marketing automation and the CRM capabilities go together, because the campaign builder, which is really the heart of our automation, comes with the marketing automation capabilities. So you first look at the functionality, and then it's a matter of the number of users and the number of contacts you have on your list.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's another difference between you guys and Intercom, is that you have to pay for leads with Intercom, and they do a really good job of adding every person that comes to your website becomes a lead. So then you have to start developing these separate scripts to start clearing out these leads where you don't even have contact information because you're paying for these leads. So, I mean, that was a whole other thing that we had to develop. Ash says he wants to tell you his background. His friend, Matt Smith, who is a very successful internet marketer, turned him on to Infusionsoft when he mentioned, I just spent over $300,000 on software and dropped it all because it was replaced by Infusionsoft. That is why we are users since 2009.
Awesome. Yeah, you can spend a lot of money on this stuff. There's no doubt. And to really build out Infusionsoft in really automated ways, you can spend tens of thousands of dollars. So I don't want to give people the impression that you're going to get everything and then some, and it's going to be the $100 a month, which you can get started with. On the other hand, it's very reasonable for people to spend a couple $100 a month and be able to get the kind of functionality that's going to make a big difference for them. So we are. There are other tools out there that are less expensive, but they don't do nearly as much as Infusionsoft. And I'm very confident that the value we deliver at the price point we deliver it is exceptional.
That's really great. One thing that I'm thinking to use Infusionsoft in one of these out-of-the-box ways is we've been building this project management software, which is going to replace Trello. So instead of you posting tasks into Trello, we've built our own project management software. The idea is you click a button. Eventually, we're going to offer it, maybe for a couple dollars a month to even non-leverage clients and use it as lead gen. So you click a magic button and you can outsource that task or project to leverage.
Yeah.
We're thinking, though, that an interesting use case of integrating Infusionsoft with this is we currently have this dossier, in your Trello board, there's this dossier list, and it's not really that user-friendly or searchable. Like if you want to give us your airline preference or, any personal information, it's in a Trello card. So what would be interesting is rather than us building this complicated dossier on clients, linking it through your API to Infusionsoft, so then the whole company would have access to the CRM. So if I'm working on a task for you to build you your next slide deck for PartnerCon, I can click your name and it'll take me to your whole profile in a CRM with a whole history of all communication with you and all the notes on you and how much revenue you've done. And maybe someone else has a suggestion for something we can do for you. And that's all in one nice to find place that's easily searchable and manageable. Yeah. So that's where my head's at with a cool way to use what you guys are doing with what we're building.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I think that I hope people got a lot out of this. I know I sure did. And I don't see how we're going to be able to do one blog post on this. I think we're going to have to split this into 2 blog posts because there was just so much content.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Nick. I'm glad to be on your member webinar, and I love what you guys do. I appreciate the way that you help entrepreneurs to get the most out of their time and their resources. And glad that you guys are becoming a partner, and look forward to working with you guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Thanks again for your time. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, Nick.